Hello and welcome again to another Franchise Hockey Manager 2 stream. My name is Adam. I am the community manager for Franchise Hockey. With me as always is producer Jeff.
Hey everybody.
And we are back. It is April 7th of 2017 with our Winnipeg Jets. We have played 80 games. We have 111 points. We have officially wrapped up first place. So we can take a quick look at the standings here. Look at league. And you can see we are over Carolina, who's of course in the Eastern Conference, but we're over St. Louis and Arizona. St. Louis has 107 points. Arizona has 101, which means we will be playing.
Yeah, the Canes could theoretically tie us, but I think we've got them beat on wins, so we've clinched first place regardless. So
Yeah.
games left, we can take it easy now, I guess.
Yeah, well, we don't need to worry about losing, of course. But regardless, we should end up with a fairly good matchup, I think, for what'll happen. Anyways,
Maybe just.
sorry.
I was just gonna say, watch the ice time on some of our key guys, so we're not getting anybody hurt too good with a nothing game with 1 or 2 games left in the season.
Yeah, and if you haven't been watching our season go by, here, let's just take a quick look at the stats of the National Hockey League leaders. And as you can see, we are not in the top of any category. For goals, assists, points, shots even, plus minus, we're not there. We do have shots blocked. Josh Morrissey is number 1. And he is our pride and joy for having somebody on the top. Also, if we look at goaltenders, we have some better stats there. And so we'll just go look here quickly. We can see save percentage. Michael Hutchison is number 2 at a 9.27 save percentage. So that's not bad.
Yep. Also, top 10 goals against average, and I think top 6 in wins. So Hutchinson's had a pretty good year for us.
Yes, he has. And that's good because we will need him. So.
Yep, there's one guy going into the playoffs.
Yeah. So what we had our last time, I've simmed through a few more games just to bring us a little bit closer to the playoffs. We can see we got a scouting report, and the NHL Player of the Month was named. Of course, it was Jeff Carter and not anybody from the Jets. And Jake Allen was Goaltender of the Month. But looking at our development report here, we can see just about everybody had really good, except for, well, Drew Stafford sure took a hit. He went -1 in getting open, -1 in positioning, and -1 in acceleration. Mark Stewart dropped getting open.
Yeah, although at least he's an unrestricted free agent at the end of the season, so not a big worry for us there.
Jordan Tutu dropped. Josh Johnson. Wow, wrong name here. Jack Johnson dropped off a couple, but that's okay. And Andrew Ladd dropped off a couple, which is a little worrisome. But we got lots of guys going up, so that's always good. Board confidence update. Mark Chipman is happy because we're 10-3-0 in the month of March. And Ken Holland was fired as Red Wings GM. That is very shocking.
It looks like they missed the playoffs, or at least they're about to miss the playoffs. 83 points, and they're way out of the playoff spot. 6 points back.
Yes, so they've hired somebody else. Blue Jackets, so Jarmo Kekalainen is going to probably be fired here in the next little bit. Dallas took Nathan Horton off waivers, which doesn't make any sense. I guess they need some more cap.
I think it maybe his injury expired in the game. I know
he's played one game.
When you start the game, Horton's injury is set to expire long in the future, and sometimes he hangs around and doesn't retire and winds up coming back.
December 26, 2016, he was taken off injured reserve, and he played a little tiny bit. But it looks like they still got a ways to go.
Yeah.
Jeremy Moore.
Nice to see him making a little bit of a comeback.
Yeah. And the Ducks claimed Jacob Slavin off waivers. Okay, part of the reason, anyways, that's all for news. Part of the reason why is if you remember our last, again, it was 2 weeks ago, and you can see the last time we streamed the 2017 Jets on our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/OOTP developments. We ran into some injury problems. Matthew Perot got injured, Jacob Trouba got injured. Luckily, we were prepared for this. So we made a couple call-ups and got ready. And Matthew Perot came back about a game or two ago. And so he's been inserted, and Freddie Hamilton was taken out. But now we are looking at our injury list, and Jacob Trouba is ready to come back. So if I try to activate him right now, he's moved back to my active roster.
You got 23 in the roster, so you're going to need to move somebody down.
So I got to send somebody down. So the question becomes, do I want to send down Tutu, Hamilton, or Chris Summers, just because they're not playing?
I don't know. Do you want to go into the playoffs carrying 8 defensemen or 7? That's the real question.
Yeah, that's.
I don't really. And well, let's see. Is Summers is waiver eligible? Tutu's already cleared waiver, so you could send him down without potentially losing anybody. So maybe that's the thing to do with a couple of games left.
All right, so we'll send Tutu down to the AHL. Also, Chris Summers has been a really good soldier. He's only played in 6 games, but he's remained just ecstatic to be on the team. So we also going to.
Well, and the difference in salary is $660,000 for the NHL, and
yeah,
whatever he's getting, $70,000 he gets in the AHL. Yeah, I'd be pretty happy too.
All right, so now we need to get Jacob Trouba back in the lineup. So we're going to take Darnell Nurse back out and scratch him, and we'll put Trouba in. Now we're going to have to rebalance.
Yeah, Nurse hasn't done too bad. I just wouldn't want to go into the playoffs with him starting on defense.
Yeah. So first thing I'm going to do is move Jack Johnson and just set him back to being left defenseman. So let's look at our lineup here now. We see Jack Johnson. We're going to move him down to second line. No, that's not right. Josh Morrissey, put him with Bufflin, move Johnson to the left, and put Trouba on the first. How does that sound?
Yeah, that'll work.
So we got Johnson, Trouba, Morrissey, Bufflin, Stewart, Myers. And Trouba, we should get him on some other times here. I'm just going to make sure Johnson is... Okay, so let's see. Jacob Trouba. Get him on... So he's going on 4-on-4. He'll be on the third pairing of 4-on-5. And should I put him on penalty kill? Take maybe Johnson off?
You can try him out for a couple of games. That's regardless of what we do, we'll probably want to shuffle these around when we start the playoffs after we know what opponent we're getting.
Yeah, so I'm going to put Michael Hutchison back as my starter too, because I had back-to-back games, so Hellebuck was in. And since we have that done, let's hit finish today. And we'll advance. So
right now it looks like San Jose and Dallas are going to be our 2 potential opponents unless Colorado gets really lucky at the end.
Actually, let me see here. Arizona is in the west. Vancouver is in the west. Anaheim, so that's 3. Okay, yeah. We had a little bit of
so
balance.
The Hawks are far enough ahead that they'll probably cross over as one of the wild cards and play Arizona, and we'll get whatever the last wild card team is.
Yes.
So Sharks or Stars.
If you remember earlier on in the season, we had where we weren't sure that there was going to be any really good West teams in, other than Arizona. It was us, Arizona, and then everyone else from the Central Division. Okay, so we have today's game versus Chicago. So let's sim that game rather quickly. Corey Crawford, Michael Hutchison's played 51 or started 51 games. Corey Crawford started 67. That is enough. And the final score is 3-2 Winnipeg. All right. What a great way to
And
go.
that if there was any question before about us not winning the President's Trophy, that ended it. So we're definitely out of Carolina now. They can't catch us.
Perfect. So you can see Jordan Eberle was 1 goal, 1 assist, and Blake Wheeler was 1 goal for first and third star, respectively. We got outshot by 1. It was 33-32. Penalty minutes were 15. That's not great. Hits were 29 to 18. Not bad. We got destroyed on face-offs again, though. That's not good. Taking a quick look here down at game summaries and game ratings, we can see Jack Johnson played 24 minutes. Okay. But 81.6 game rating. Josh Morrissey, he had a great game. 96.6 game rating. 17.9.
6 block shots. Wow.
Dustin Bufflin, 25 minutes.
Played 17 minutes.
That's enough, but he's doing okay. Trouba comes back in, but 18 minutes played. Good. Pro. Not bad. All the numbers look pretty good. Do you see anything else?
No, nothing jumps out at me. One more game to go, and absolute nothing game. Might as well start the backup for that one.
Oh, I would imagine. Oh, no. Mark Stewart is injured, of course. How bad?
Uh-oh.
Oh, light injury. Day-to-day with a tender shoulder. All right. Well, let's sit him then. And we'll put Nurse back in.
Yeah, well, good thing we hung on to that. He had extra defenseman just in case he isn't ready to go at the beginning of the playoffs.
Okay, Nurse is in there. In there. In there. And I will flip Hellebuck now while I'm thinking about it. And we'll move on. Again, if you're joining us on Twitch tonight, if you have any questions, please make sure you submit them in the chat and we'll talk about them. Coyotes, Steve Downey's out for the next 3 weeks. Well, that's going to hurt their playoffs.
Looks like there's an interesting scoring race. Crosby and Stamkos have only 1 point separating them.
We'll take a quick look at that. John Klingberg got hurt. That hurts. And, oh no, Jonathan Quick is out for 10 months.
Ouch. And were the Kings even... The Kings missed the playoffs anyhow, so that's not going to...
That's rough.
But still, yeah.
He tore his PCL. Not a nice injury. That's rough.
He's been bulletproof up to this point, too. He's had 3 straight 70-game seasons.
Brian Campbell's on waivers. Take a look at stats here really quick. We can see Sidney Crosby's 95 points, tying up Steven Stamkos. Both are at 95.
Yeah, probably settled in the last day of the season then.
Very
Looks
likely.
like Stamkos is ahead on goals.
We'll take a quick look at the Jets stats, too, at the end of the season. And see how we are.
Yep.
And... of course. So we play today. Roman Polak's on waivers. Of course he is. And we'll just quickly sim this game again. Connor Hellebuck, 29 games played, 19 wins, 9 losses, 919 save percentage, which is pretty good too. Oh man, Jake Allen, 69 games played. Whew, that is a busy netminder. And if we sim to the end, 6-5 Winnipeg. Ooh, this is old time 1980s hockey. 47 shots on
115
net.
points to close out the year.
That's pretty darn good.
Yeah, franchise record.
What happened here? 45 shots to 35. 10 penalty minutes still. Not great. 30 hits to 8 for us. Face-offs, 42 for us, 31 for them. That is a lot of face-offs. Jordan Eberle,
And tell me
2
injuries.
goals. Again, so that's pretty darn good. Eberle has proven to be a very good pickup for us. And just taking a quick look here. Mark Scheifele got his 41st assist of the year. Not bad. Looking at game ratings, Josh Morrissey almost had a perfect game. He played just over 27 minutes, 2 assists, 3 shots on goal, 2 missed shots, 3 block shots, 2 penalty minutes, and 4 hits. Whew.
Yeah, I think just in terms of game ratings, Morrissey might have been our MVP this year.
Yeah, he had a really good year. Really good year. Dustin Buffum playing almost 29 minutes in the game. But, that's okay. He plays better when he plays more. And just looking at the numbers, everyone played pretty good, except for Blake Wheeler. Uh-oh, I don't like that. He only played 345. Uh-oh.
That sounds like an injury.
That's not a good sign.
So hopefully it's just something that knocked him out of the game.
Oh, no, it's a news highlight.
He's -3 in the 3 minutes.
He pinched his nerve and is gone for a month. Oh, no. Oh, my first line right winger. Oh, that hurts so much.
Now it's definitely a really good thing we got Eberle.
Yeah, okay, so let's, I guess we better put him on, we can put him on injured reserve, right?
Yep.
Injured reserve. Oh, that's so rough. Well, I guess we can bring Freddie Hamilton back into the lineup.
And can bring up a forward now, too.
Maybe bring up Nick Patan.
Yeah, he's not real happy right now. Or the alternative, you got Brendan Lemieux down there, too. His dad wasn't too bad in the playoffs.
Yeah, he's actually developed really well. He's up to his 3.5-star potential, so that's good.
Yeah,
let's see how he did
probably
for
near
the
his
season.
ceiling, but had a nice year in the AHL.
38 points, 76 penalty minutes. In all likelihood, neither guy will play. But Nick Patan had 67 points. Let's bring him up. Let's make him happy to join the team.
Yep. Did Manitoba make the playoffs?
Let me see. Manitoba, if we go to standings, that's not the right one. I somehow got to the NHL.
Looks like they're just going to make it in.
All right.
They got a couple of games left.
How do I do that again, just for clarifying for me?
Easiest way is just go to the league menu at the top, change it from National Hockey League to American League, and look at the standings.
Ah, there we go. American Hockey League. So they finished. If I can suddenly find them, that's the old teams. St. John's Ice Caps. Manitoba moves 4th. Not a great season, 37-33. That's disappointing. Under 500 on the road. I feel even a little bit worse about taking Nick Patan from them too, but all right.
Yeah, they were probably going out in the first round anyhow.
Very likely. So let's
And it's a farm team, though. That's what they're there for.
So let's make a decision here. We need to strengthen our lines. So we can move Kyle Connor, Jordan Eberle, or Matthew Perreault up to the first line.
No, I think that's Eberle. No-brainer for sure. He's a good clutch guy.
All right. So should we move Matthew Perreault or Drew Stafford up to the right wing on the third line?
Perreault, I don't think is a natural right wing, so I do Stafford instead.
Perreault, I think, has a pretty good rating, though. Let me just take a look here. Okay, no, he's only 13. Never mind then. Although Adam Lowry...
Yeah, definitely the one.
No, he's 12 too. Okay, so we're going to move Drew Stafford up then. And what's Freddie Hamilton here?
The other thing we could do alternately is move Brian Little over to the right side.
Oh, Freddie Hamilton's a 15. He'll be fine on the right wing then. And so, okay, now we got to rework the power play unit here.
Actually, before we do this, we should take a look at who we're getting in the first round.
All right, so we'll just pause and see if it'll let us go. It might not, though, with the open spots on lineup. Oh, actually, just before we do that even, I'm going to go back to roster here, and we are going to look at stats. Looking at our offensive stats, of course, we just took out Blake Wheeler, who had 60-some points. But we can see here our highest point total guys is Nick Ehlers at 68 points. 32 goals, 36 assists. So, guy can score. Assists.
Yeah, kind of a breakthrough year for him.
Yeah, assists. Mark Scheifele had 41 assists, which is more than pretty good. Bufflin 35, Brian Little 33, Morrissey 30. I mean,
yeah, definitely got the scoring spread out quite a bit.
Yeah.
So we're not really depending on one line to do it. So it should be tough to shut down the playoffs.
Yeah, everybody's
hopefully
getting involved. Losing Blake Wheeler is going to hurt, though. Oh boy. Bo Horvat to test free agency. And Steven Stamkos has 97 points to Crosby's 96. Now what's his
Yeah, just pulls it out in the last day of the season.
Bo Horvat. He's willing to take offer sheets. Well, maybe we should throw an offer sheet in on him. And Roman Polak is back to Toronto. Because of course he is.
Did they? The Leafs actually made the playoffs, I think. Or did they? Oh, no, they were, looks like, I'm just looking at the older version of the save. They were a couple of points out. Don't think they made it.
Let me just take a quick look. And I'll just go to standings here. Leafs ended up 91 points, so they did not make the playoffs.
Okay, close at least.
Yep, just missed.
I think they would have made it if they were in the. They would have made it easily if they were in the our conference.
Just maybe, yeah. Let's take a look here. Edmonton grabs Dylan Simpson off waivers. A couple more guys. Reed Boucher and Brooks Orpik. Man, Brooks Orpik is 36 years old. Did not think he'd be that old already.
Still hanging around there.
All right, Jeff, as we're simulating it. Oh, we're playing San Jose. Let's take a quick look here at San Jose's roster.
Speaking of which, they're up 2-0 in the second in the real game.
All right. They have, let's see. Old man Joe Thornton is still around. Nothing too surprising. Other than maybe this goalie they have called up.
The current lineup, Marlowe's still around, Pavelski's still there. Risterne.
Okay, their starting goalie is a 2.5-star guy. That makes no sense.
Or are they actually starting? Wow, they're actually using Grosnick.
Yeah, he is.
Although actually, no, it looks like they picked up Nemi partway through the year.
Yeah.
And he may have been the starter since then. They traded. Well, they got him on waivers on March 8th, and he started most of the way since then.
Jeez, that's... Well, 2.5 guy being your goaltender, that's... makes it a little bit...
Yeah, in fact, it looks like he actually got them into the playoffs. Now 6-4.
Okay, well, hopefully that's as far as they will get. San Jose only had 80 points and got in the playoffs. That's pretty bad.
And the Leafs have 91 in the East, and they missed.
Leafs fans. All right, so now
we're the best team in the league. We're in an absolutely terrible conference. Should have an easy time in the playoffs, right?
Let's hope. All right, so I need to get this lineup fixed. Okay, so line Ehlers, Scheifele, Eberle, Ladd, Matthews, Connor, Lowry, Little, Stafford, Pro, Kopp, Hamilton. All right, so 5-on-4 power play. Our number 2 line needs a new right winger.
Yeah, but I think the main thing about San Jose is their goaltending looks pretty suspect, so
yeah,
probably go offense first here.
You got an idea?
Worry too much about putting a guy in like Hamilton.
Put Hamilton in?
I'm just thinking that Hamilton's more offensive than defensive, so it's not going to be a problem to have him in the lineup. Have a little bit of a defense in
All right.
exchange for getting a little more offense out of the third line. or fourth line rather.
So our 5-on-3 power play. Should I move Ehlers up to the first line then? Put Hamilton in again? Or maybe I should put Jordan Eberle in here.
Yeah, I think so.
Because he's not playing on any power play. Should I maybe put Eberle in for Hamilton too, or leave Hamilton in on the 5-on-4? Who's better defensively? 12? Well, he's better on the... Hamilton's got a better defense.
Is Hamilton better defensively? Oh yeah, and he can play all four positions. So yeah, I'd maybe go with him instead, and gives us an extra and good face-off guy out there in case the starting the regular center gets thrown out.
Okay, we need to add...
Remember to change Hutchison back to the starting goalie too.
I wouldn't. If Hellebuck was in, it wouldn't be the end of the world. All right, so we got...
There's still a little bit of a difference between them at this point.
It looks like all our spots are filled up now. So, do you want to play or sim this first game?
I think this one.
What was that? Sorry, you cut out just right there.
So definitely, first game of the playoffs, you got to play that?
All right, first game of the playoffs. We're on action condensed, play-by-play speed is normal, and very fast. And the MTS Center in Winnipeg would be rocking. Uh-oh. Morrissey takes a penalty. Less than 2 minutes in. Because of course he did.
Okay, that's not a good sign. Our best player, he hands him a power play right at the start.
Yeah. So, we can see here, and... Oh, I forgot to switch to defense. Darnell Nurse is still in. That's okay. It's not the end of the world, but... I should have got Mark Stewart back in. He is an assistant captain.
Is Stewart back healthy?
Oh, he should be close if he's not.
Yeah, probably not a huge deal, but remember to do that for the next one.
While we're watching this first period go by, there's a question that everybody wants to know. Jeff, you're a huge fan of the Vancouver Canucks, and just a little...
You had to bring this up, didn't you?
There was a huge trade. Eric Gabranson from the Florida Panthers gets traded with a 5th-round pick to Vancouver for Jared McCann, a 2nd and a 4th-round selection. How do you feel about that trade?
I give up at this point. I'm sure Jim Benning has a plan. I have no idea what it is, though.
That one just kind of makes you scratch your head a little.
McCann looked like he was going to be penciled in at worst our number 3 center. Starting to look a little bit like a young Kessler, and instead we've got a guy who's, he was a 3rd overall pick a few years ago, but he's basically a career number 4 defenseman. And we gave up extra picks on top of that. Yeah, so we're missing our 2nd and 3rd from next year now, and we got, I think, Florida's 5th rounder, big deal.
Yeah, that's a
so I'm not sure how this is going to improve the outlook for the Canucks next year at all, and definitely not in the long term.
Maybe they're going for the full tank to try and get the 1st rounder next year, or number 1 next year.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind getting Nolan Patrick. I guess the one good thing about it is I'm assuming since we picked up a defenseman now, we're not going to bother going for one in the draft. So that probably means Pierre-Luc Dubois is the guy we're going to go after. Maybe Tkachuk if he's still there, but my money is probably going to be on Dubois at this point.
All right, so end of first period, we're up on shots 9-6. We're down on faceoffs though. They won 11, we only won 9. Still 0-0. Our shots are kind of just coming from one side of the net, which is weird.
And speaking of Nolan Patrick, him and the Wheat Kings are still up 1-0 going. I don't know, it's like they're halfway through the 3rd in the Memorial Cup against Red Deer. And since you asked me about the McCann trade, how about that London-Brandon game the other day?
It wasn't just London.
9-1 for the Knights.
That Quebec game, too, was just awful.
That team is just outrageous. Right now, it looks like London's going to walk away with the cup.
1-0 for the Jets. Nick Ehlers scored, assisted
Yeah,
by
there
Eberle and Bufflin. Yeah, I don't know. Brandon just looked like they had no idea what they're doing out there.
Yeah, that's the thing about the Memorial Cup. These teams don't play each other except for the host team and the and then one of the other teams don't play each the year, and then
Yeah.
you get them in the cup, and you never know how it's going to turn out. And this year it turned out that London is way the hell better than anybody else in the CHL.
Well, and it's 1-1 now. Burns just scored. Did you happen to, assisted by Thornton, did you happen to watch any of the Brandon London game? I'm just, because I did actually watch that Travis.
Just I flipped through it briefly. That didn't. I think it was they were down by a few when I
It,
saw it, and so I didn't bother hanging around.
it was terrible, but I mean, Brandon just went full crazy, I think is a good word to use here. They just, things went bad to worse, and worse to even worse. They just couldn't get anything going, and then they were taking dumb penalties, and then they were just letting them basically score. Like, I think London's power play was like 5 for 5 or something. And you're just like, well, how can you possibly win when you're doing that to yourself?
Yeah, I mean they still got a decent chance of making the final if they can hang on to this lead tonight with for another 10 minutes against Red Deer.
Yeah, well, that forces a tiebreaker game. So who knows on that?
Yeah.
Are you? This is actually fairly interesting if you're looking at the shots here on our Twitch stream or YouTube if you're watching the archive. You can see the goals were scored from almost the exact same place at opposite ends, and all the shots are kind of coming from one side on both sides, which is weird.
Yeah, just looking at San Jose's lineup right now. Who the heck have they got on the left side that's shutting us down that badly?
Yeah, I'll have to look at that. Maybe.
Oh, Joe Evie, the guy who's supposed to go in the first round this year, and Marc-Andre Vlasic. That may have something to do with it.
Andrew Ladd just scored, assisted by Pro and Little, up 2-1 now. All right, gotta love it.
And they shouldn't really be competitive with us in this series. We were 35 points or so ahead of them in the regular season.
No, we. Oh wow, he scored from the point too. Excellent. Although I'm not sure what Andrew Ladd was doing back at the point. And Shifley just scores to go 3-1.
Now we're rolling.
Assisted by Eberle. Oh, Eberle's coming on strong. And this pickup might have been very important for us.
Yep.
Great thing.
Should also take a look at the other playoff matchups when we get out of this. We didn't even see who else is in the division right now. I think the Canucks actually made it.
Well, that can't be right. Yeah, we should definitely look at that. Maybe sim through game 2 and see how we do. Quick. Oh man. So that's it's game 7-2 now in Tampa and Pittsburgh, right? That's
Yep, that'll be, and just checking the score on the Sharks. Blues Sharks are up 2-0 with 7 left in the second period, so they may finish that off tonight.
okay. Well, Jeff, let me ask
So
you
we
this.
could know the finals as early as tomorrow.
The YouTube stream probably won't be up till Friday or Saturday. So who do you think's going to win?
I'd probably put my money on Pittsburgh. I'm not going to bet against Crosby in a situation like that, especially with Stamkos not apparently coming back for the game 7.
Yeah, it's tough. I Tampa, could, but man, Pittsburgh's doing a lot of the little things right, and they just feel like they want it more than everybody else.
Yeah, and they've been there before too, so you just got to give it to them based on experience, if nothing else.
Well, Tampa was there last year, but they haven't won.
But just, I mean, the guys, with all the injuries they've had, they're leaning on Drouin a lot right now, and Stamkos isn't there. Bishop's not going to be playing.
It's kind of a head scratcher. It's kind of weird Ben Bishop gets injured in the playoffs for a second year in a row. isn't it? Both with him doing kind of the same
Yeah,
thing.
kind of strange.
I mean, they're talking so much about possible NHL expansion. Although I don't know, this seems to be getting less and less chance, especially now if the NFL ends up going to Las Vegas. Then I think the NHL might slam the brakes on that. But
Yeah, I mean that always seemed a little bit iffy to me, anyhow. But and you got to wonder what they're gonna if they're realistic, they're really gonna go into Quebec, or if that's just something kind of a handy threat to have in their back pocket if another team.
I think that'll be
So
the
another,
handy
if
threat for.
somebody else can threaten to move to Quebec and get, concessions out of their ownership
I think that's what
or
it'll
out
be
of
for a
their
little bit at least.
city. Yeah.
But this has been a very low shot game. Only 19 to 17 shots with 8 minutes left. But
Yeah, it's playoffs.
they were talking about when they were talking about all the expansion stuff, and they said because you could only protect so many players, and they're like, well, what goalie would Tampa protect? And I'd be like, well, I'd protect Vasilevsky over Bishop. I think Bishop is a good goalie, but I don't think he's an elite goalie in the NHL. And Austin
Yeah, I
Matthews
mean,
scores.
and especially with in getting injured 2 playoffs in a row, that's
Yeah.
a little bit worrying.
I said, it's the same thing with Boston's goalie, whose name has escaped me right now, Tuukka Rask. I think he's a good goalie. Yep. I do not believe myself that he's an elite goalie.
And they got Malcolm Subban coming up behind him too.
Yeah, I mean, he's a really good goalie, but I don't think he's going to be the guy who's going to steal you a game. So the game is over. The Jets have won 4-1. We got outshot 25-22, but we won the game. Face-offs we lost 30-24. Taking a quick look at the box score here. Jordan Eberle is the number 1 star with 2 assists, as he should be.
Yeah, so San Jose actually looks like would be a decent team in this game if they had any kind of goaltending, but they don't.
Yeah. Jack Johnson played 24 minutes. Josh Morrissey only played 17:49. Dustin Bufflin played 21. Minutes were actually very evenly spread out. Our fourth line played 9 minutes and around 9 minutes, except for Matthew Perreault, so that's pretty darn good.
Yeah, probably got a little more time at the end of the game once it was out of touch.
Oh, that's fine. So we can end our game. And let's take a quick look.
And let's take a look at the playoffs and see what the other matchups are.
So I want playoffs. So Minnesota, St. Louis. So that sounds familiar. Chicago, Arizona. Anaheim, Vancouver. Oh, that's not bad. And in the East, New Jersey, Washington, New York, Carolina, Philly, Buffalo, and Montreal, Tampa. Chris Orme in the chat says hi. Hi, Chris. What do you think of those matchups?
So we get 1, 2, 3 Canadian teams counting us.
Yeah, that's not bad.
So better than real life, but not by much. And it doesn't look like any of them are going to be around longer than
listen,
the Jets.
If Toronto made it into the playoffs, then we know this would not actually be happening.
Yeah, true.
So this is actually kind of realistic.
But in general, the whole Western Conference is pretty terrible once you get past the top 3 teams. Maybe 4 for Minnesota.
Yeah. So we look here, and Arizona blew out Chicago 6-3. St. Louis beat Minnesota 4-1. Vancouver beat Anaheim 2-1. Montreal lost to Tampa Bay 5-4. Philly beat Buffalo, who are the defending Stanley Cup champions. And New York beat Carolina 2-1. So that's the Islanders.
A couple upsets in the first day.
Yeah.
And I think, remember, you want to put Mark Stewart back into the lineup?
Right. I had already forgot. And he is back healthy. Now, should I mess with it even though we're winning? I'm so torn by this. Do I wait for the end?
No, I don't think Nurse was... What units did you have Nurse on?
Well, we'll put Mark Stewart back in.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to. I would leave everything else pretty much the same. We didn't get a lot of shots, but we won, so let's not mess with it too much.
Okay, we are back filled in. Let's hit finish today. And we will sim this game a little bit. So Michael Hutchison after the first game has a 960 save percentage. Antti Nietmi has an 818 save percentage.
Seems about right.
Alright, so let's just go here. Let's sim to the end of the first period and see what happens. And as we go through the chat, Adam Lowry scores. Excellent. And then
Yeah, get some second line scoring. That's good.
All right. So it's 1-1 at the end of the first. 11-7 in shots. Face-offs. We're actually up on face-offs. Quickly going again. Austin Matthews scores for us. And Godolbin scores for them. 2-2. Shifley scores from the side of
play out the third. Oh, we did get it. We're up.
Yeah, we're up 3-2. Still down by shots, but our face-offs, we have dominating the face-off circle, 30-19. And sim to the end of the period.
I think we're really missed Wheeler on offense.
And the final score is 4-2. And we piled on the shots in the third period. It ended up 39-32.
Wow. That must have been like 19-6 in the third period for shots.
Yeah, 39-31 for face-offs. Wow. We just shot from everywhere, and so did they.
Okay, that's good. We can get this series over with quickly and hopefully rest up a little bit before the second round against. Looks like it's going to be St. Louis.
And here it goes. Josh Morrissey, 100 game rating, finally. Mark Stewart only plays 1148, but has a 59.4 game rating. Rough.
That's good. Easing back into it.
A little bit of time. Lowest guy on the team was Matthew Pro with only 705 played, but that's okay. Freddie Hamilton was 825. Andrew Kopp played quite a bit, so that's good. End the game, and let's see how everybody else did. No injuries, even better. Chris Orme asked from the chat, can I ask a question on ice time? Absolutely, Chris. That's what we are here for. If you have questions, we will gladly answer them. Looking here quickly, and maybe I'll just go back to the standings. We can see Vancouver lost their game. Montreal won 7-4. So if we look here at standings and playoffs, Arizona's up 2, Washington's up 2, and everybody else is tied 1-1. So not bad. We'll have to continue here to see how we continue to do as we move on. So let's do the same thing for Game 3. So we're going to click play. We're now in San Jose, of course, at the SAP Center. And we see we are getting badly outshot. Oh, we turned it around. Shots are 17-8 at the end of the first period for us. Face-offs are 11-4. And they blocked 10 shots on us. But not a bad first period. And San Jose just scored, so it's 1-0. Adam Lowry just scored, so it's 1-1. And it's 1-1 at the end of the second. We have 35 shots, and they have 1. And they have 15, not 1.
Yeah, one would be a little one-sided.
Yes. Okay, sorry. The question from the chat from Chris Army. I have a
Yep.
stacked second line right now and struggling to find the right minutes for each player to keep them happy. Is the best way to do that adjusting the minutes per line or via power play, shorthanded time, or a mixture of both?
Really a mixture of both. It's probably a little easier to get immediate results just out of the power play and shorthanded time power play in particular, because well, it's going to be a little erratic because you may not necessarily get as many power plays as you'd like in a game to have a big impact right away.
Eberle just scored.
The AI will always, it's never going to follow slavishly to the number of minutes you specify because it'll make decisions based on the game situation. But as long as you've got as long as you're giving those second line guys regular power play time, like maybe consider putting one of them onto the point on the first unit, or even rotating them around on the point, that should give them enough minutes to stay happy.
Yeah. For this game, I have my first. Sorry, my defensemen are split up 20-20-20, but my forwards are almost split up evenly except for the fourth line, and I'll show it after the game. We are currently 3-3 at the end of the third period. Now, if you can
Out
look,
shooting them 54-20.
yes, we are destroying them on shots. It's not even close.
After we made fun of the San Jose goaltending, now they're doing this to us.
Yes, he seems to be stopping everything. So we're just going to let this one play out because we'll just have to see what happens.
Yep.
17-12, and San Jose's bringing it in. Oh, and they just took a penalty. Come on, special teams.
Okay.
Nope.
Something here.
60 shots to 20 right now. Matthew to Connor. Connor. Well, you know, let's look at. Come on.
Okay, remind me not to say anything about the opposing goalies anymore.
Well, there's so many shots. Yummy with the save.
Have they even had one this period yet?
Yeah, they've had one. They were at 19. We can just take these all off and we can see. Oh, I take it back. Apparently they haven't. Going back to the time on ice, it's really tough keeping some people happy just because you can't play everybody huge minutes. It just doesn't work. And so you're going to have some guys get unhappy for times. But if your second line is great, maybe they should become your first line, and your first line should become your second line.
Yeah, it'd also be, that's a good point because you may have guys on if you've got guys on the second line that are good enough to be first liners, they're also. Uh-oh.
San Jose just scored.
What happened?
And the game ends 4-3. 66
Okay,
shots.
well, no sweep for us.
66 shots, and we couldn't win this.
Okay, Nemi better be the first star of that.
Well, let's take a look. He's not.
Unless they give it to whoever got the winning goal.
They did. They gave it to Goldolman. And then it was Josh Johnson and Dorks. How does he not get a star? They had 27 penalty minutes for 6.
Star logic for that. Yeah, that's weird. And extra bad news for you. Red Deer tied it up with 5 minutes left in the third, so they're
of course
1-1 and probably going into overtime in the Memorial Cup.
Morrissey didn't have a great game. He was -3. And looking at the numbers, Austin Matthews 27 minutes. Whew. Kyle Connor 25 minutes.
Yeah, well, that's with overtime too, though.
Yeah. So we'll just go back here. So Chris Orme says, okay, thanks. I have Landeskog, Duchesne, McKinnon, then Boddicker, O'Reilly, Hansel on the Avs. McKinnon is the main issue. Switched him with O'Reilly and gave him first line power play and penalty kill, but he's still not happy. Might adjust the ice times for each line then. And he adds, and wow.
You may want to just wait a little bit for that. It
So
may take a few games with extra ice time for McKinnon to go back to being happy again. It's not
yeah,
going to be an instant change,
yeah, it will take a little bit, but I'll just show you what my
because it does keep
tactics look like here. So our first line
the
is
game is keeping a running total of recent ice time. So until that shifts back up and you get a couple of games with more ice time for McKinnon, that's when you'll start to get happy again.
yeah. So we went over some of this in some of our earlier videos, which again you could go to if you want. But just looking at it quick, we can see our forwards ice time is 17 minutes for our first line. Our second line, 16 minutes. Third line, 15 minutes. And our fourth line aims for 12. Now again, that's if nobody got a penalty or we never got a power play, which never happens. So it becomes then, how do you balance those power play, 5-on-4, 5-on-3, your 4-on-4 times, and then your penalty kills. The big thing I would always suggest is you want to find some balance, no matter what, on between your power play and your penalty kill. You can play your top guys, but you're going to wear them out if you're playing them up both all the time. Michael Hutchison's down to a 60%, so we'll have to watch out on that for his fitness level. Keep an eye out. And advance here and see what happens. 66 shots and lose the game. That's disgusting.
Yep. I mean, you can't really find any problems with your lineup in that sense. Just stupid goal the team.
Tanya Harding, the Emmy.
Yeah, it's an option.
Okay, so looking here quickly at the standings, we can see Arizona's up 3-0 on Chicago. Vancouver's up 2-1 on Anaheim. St. Louis is up 2-1 on Minnesota. Everything looks pretty
At
good.
least they're not going to sweep two, so they won't be ready for it than we are.
Washington looks like they could sweep New Jersey as well. All right, let's quickly go through this game. Oh, let's actually just check everyone's fitness and make sure everyone's doing okay. Kyle Connor is injured, and it didn't tell me this. He's got a mild hamstring strain.
Might have been a
Now, what do you think? Do we set him out or let him play?
what's the alternative?
Putting
who did we call? Connors, it's not that huge of a drop off from one to the other.
Except for Connor's on the right wing, so I'd have to rebalance my lineup a bit. Let's leave him in and see if he can
You'd
play
have
through
to,
the injury.
and we're already missing Wheeler from the right wing.
Yeah. Play game. And let's go here. We're going to play and sim through this and see what happens. If their goalie stands on his head again, it's going to be tough.
Times is he going to do that in one series? They just got lucky once, and he should be pretty worn down too after that.
Oh my goodness. We lost again in overtime. Shots were 51-42. And we lost. 4-3.
Okay.
51 shots on net. 66 the game before. Series is now tied.
Well, at least that's that's 50 them, not us.
Yeah, but we had 42. Nobody's ratings that bad except for Mark.
That's a little bit worrying. So I think maybe we sit Connor out 10 in.
Jack Johnson, 36 minutes played. Josh Morrissey, 26. Mark Stewart, 24. Bufflin, 30 minutes.
That was an overtime too, wasn't it?
25. Yeah.
Yeah, it has to be overtime.
Everybody got lots of ice time, so we better... We're going to need a re-game plan here. And we'll take a quick...
Question in the chat about injuries.
How much does an injury matter? Is it setting percent drop or something? I've always replaced him instead. But it's not a huge drop. I'd be tempted to, with a big player, to keep him playing for a must-win game. That's kind of where we're at.
Yeah,
sure.
it's usually the if it's a key player to keep him in. I'm just saying move it out right. Connor's born with, and he's going to take a little bit of a hit on his ratings in the game due to the injury. And it's not like I think Patan might actually be a little bit with him on ratings regularly, so we actually should gain a little bit by putting him into the lineup.
Well, we need something to change this. Otherwise, we might blow this.
Yeah, shake him up a little bit.
Let's see. So we're going to take Kyle Connor out.
Although at least we're headed back to Winnipeg now.
Dress player. So let's look at our lines here. Andrew Ladd. So we want to move and put Nick Patan in. Let me just look at... He's not the best right winger. He's only a 12 at position rating compared to 20 at left wing.
Yeah, but I think we maybe think about moving Perot into the middle, and we've caught a little over on the right side.
All right, let me just take a look here. Okay, I like it. So we put...
Either that or put Perot on have him centering the second line.
So if I move... Why couldn't we put Patan as my center for the third line?
I could try it. That's going to be a lot of ice time for somebody we just called up.
Fine. We'll put Perot in as center on the third. Put Patan on left wing on the fourth. Little moves up to the wing.
Yeah, that's probably a little safer.
So now I have some open spots. Let's put... Because we took... Give some Patan some power play time.
I think we might have better options for that. Perot, Ladd. You can move Ladd to the first line. You could try him on the second, Patan in the second power play unit and move last one.
Yeah, I'll move Ladd up and... Okay, 4-on-4 though. Let's put... Let's put Adam Lowry out with Andrew Ladd. And we'll put in 4-on-4. Let's put...
Okay.
You got a suggestion?
Yeah, that's fine.
Let's put Freddie Hamilton out with Brian Little for 4-on-5. Try that.
Okay.
All right. This is getting rough. We're now 2-2.
So have a look at the other series before you go into the game.
Too late.
No, too late.
I don't think any series end. I think everyone's good. Chicago won their
The
game.
first round then?
I know that.
Oh, okay, so
Hamilton scores
hanging in there.
to put us up 1-0, and we're still piling on the shots at 16-6 after the first period.
Okay, promising start.
All right, let's try this again. The second period. And we score again. Aberle scores another goal. And Thornton scores, so it's 2-1. Brian Little scores, 3-1 us at the end. And we have 30 shots on net to their 12. Oh, let's hope we can actually win this.
Yeah, we better hang on to this period. If we blow this, that's not good.
And Pavelski scores to make it 3-2. And Thornton scores to make it 3-3.
Oh, man.
And we're going to overtime again. Shots are 36-30.
Why don't you set the overtime?
What's that?
Or are you going to play over? You're going to play the.
What would you like to do?
Why don't you set watch now to goals only and play like that so we can see the goal?
Goals only. You mean action condensed?
No, on watch mode, switch it down to the goals option.
I have all shots, action expanse, action condensed, scoring summary. Scoring summary then.
Scoring summary, I mean. Yeah, that's.
Chris
So I forgot
Orme
what
says,
Sebastian called it.
overtime again? Overtime again. Good old playoff hockey. Morrissey turns the puck over. I'm not liking this. Oh no.
Oh, no.
Oh no. And Thornton scores. Oh man.
Oh, man. Are we going to blow this?
It certainly looks like it.
There's that crazy game 3 that screwed us up. We should have won that and been up 3-0.
I mean,
Oh,
their
man.
goalie is literally standing on his head. Thornton ends up with a hat trick. It's 3-0. Or 3 goals.
We're
Awesome.
getting killed in the clutch by Joe Thornton, of all people.
Yeah, old man Thornton. Oh, man.
Choking Joe.
I don't know what to say to that.
Well, we got to think about maybe making some changes here.
All right, so let's
That's a
quickly
whole
look
game.
here at
So really,
standings. No series is over yet. Ratcast says in the chat, chokers. We're doing everything we can. Chris Army, not much luck in the OT. Is this due to goalies' leadership or just clutch players?
I'm blaming it on the San Jose goaltending just going crazy for a couple of games.
Yeah. We can see here now Arizona has won their series 4-1 against Chicago.
Okay, we got around. So do we stay with the lineup we got? Do we call somebody up?
I think we need to take a look here. Kyle Connor, he's 1 day away. Should I put him back in? That's the question.
Will he be? Is that one? Are you right on the next? Do you have a couple to go?
This is game day. I'm going to put Darnell Nurse back in on the defensive end. Mark Stewart's coming out.
Are you taking out Stewart?
Yeah. So let's get Darnell Nurse in. Oh,
I would maybe leave Connor out as Manitoba that we could right wing that we could put in there. I don't really see anybody that's an
Yeah.
obvious candidate.
I don't think... I think we're best off with what we got.
Yeah, Mew
Becomes-
doesn't play. He's only a left wing, so it's.
It's not... I'm just... Oh, man. It's not like we're doing that bad. We just can't seem to get that goal.
I'm getting the bounces. I mean, it's a cliche, but having terrible luck here.
You know what? I'm going to put Freddie Hamilton up onto the third line and move Drew Stafford down to the third line.
Yeah, Hamilton has been playing okay. He got that first goal game, last game, game 5.
Yeah, so let's try that. Ratcast says in the chat, can you make changes mid-game? Maybe shake up the lines in OT? You can make changes at mid-game, I believe.
Yep,
Right?
and I'm thinking if we do go back into overtime, especially if we blow another lead like we did last game, we'll have to do that this time.
All right. If we lose this, this is just going to be beside myself. Play a game versus Sharks. You know, it's got to be the President's Trophy curse if that happens. Oh, this is rough. Hutchison's 2-0-3. Like, come on. Simulating through the first period. And no goals are scored. We get up on shots 13-9. Face-offs are 12-10 for us. Not bad.
Yeah, I'd really like to get a goal past Niemi, though.
Yeah, apparently he's been replaced with a brick wall. And they just scored because Logan Couture just scored.
Oh, man.
End of the second period, and it's 1-0. They're now beating. We did. How many shots did we get? Like, we got 2 shots in the second period.
Okay, we're in full-on choke mode now, apparently.
Do we play the third one or just sim it? I don't know. I'm so torn.
Why don't you switch it to scoring summary and play it?
Last time you told me to do that, we got destroyed.
Okay, so that's a bad idea then. Play it and leave it on action.
No, it's fine. It's fine. We'll play scoring summary. We'll see what happens.
Can't go wrong twice, can it?
It could. This is like the Jets playing the Oilers in the 80s all over again. And they just scored to go up 2-0.
I don't believe this.
Thomas
115
Burke.
points and we're getting blown. We're going to lose in the first round to a team that was 35 points behind us.
I am so angry right now. And Matthew Perreault took a penalty because, of course, he did. That's why he's going to free agency and not being kept. We just lost this game. 2 minutes left.
Don't believe
And
this.
1 minute left and game over. We lost 2-0. 38 shots to 29. Wow.
So just we ran into a crazy goalie. It happens in the playoffs, but
Wow.
push that in.
Words.
So much for our big playoff run series.
I don't know what to say to that. I can't believe we lost. The good news
Take
is...
a look at the team stats for the playoffs, just see if any who really blew it.
and so, let's see. Where do I look at that?
Just look at the rosters.
Roster. And then I want to go to team stats offensive.
Yeah.
Well, that's just showing me regular season stats.
No, there's be a drop down to the left of the stats summary.
It should be a drop down to... Oh, regular season playoffs. I see now. Here we go.
Yeah.
Ratcast. Who wrote the code for this game?
Don't look at me, I only designed it.
Oh, man. That's a heartbreaker. Well,
Yeah,
Shaky
that
had
kills
3 goals. Drew Stafford, not a very good series. That's why he's being waved goodbye as well.
Myers didn't do much. So yeah, I think yeah, was losing Wheeler right with their in the last game of the season.
Yeah.
Morrissey had been our best player all season. He was -2.
All right. Well, the good news is we'll go to standings and watch the playoffs.
Right, okay. Johnson had a good playoff. Just we didn't get the secondary scoring, and their goalie was a lot better than ours. And the guy did win a cup once, but still.
Oh, thank you for stopping for scouting reports. Wrong one. Standings, playoffs. We can see second round then is San Jose versus Minnesota. Vancouver advanced to play Arizona. The Islanders are playing
Vancouver's
Washington.
going to be the only Canadian team left.
And Tampa's playing Buffalo. Simulating the next week. Well, we are over our regular time for streaming, but I think we kind of want to know who just wins the cup now. Just because.
Yeah, that's...
And watch it be San Jose win the cup. Actually, looking here, Philadelphia lost out in the first round, so they are not defending their Stanley Cup.
Still good.
Alright, and as I continue for this, next week, while we're continuing this, I'm just going to do some of the wrap-up right now. Thank you for tuning in. We stream live Wednesdays at 10 p.m. Eastern on our Twitch channel, which is twitch.tv/OOTP Developments. Blake Wheeler's ready to return, so let's send...
Oh, that helps.
Yeah. Who do I send down? I don't even know. Can I carry 24 people on my roster? Probably not.
Would you send Patan back down? He's not going to be happy about it, but you can bring him back up for next year. I think he's going to be playing for us.
It certainly looks like it.
Yeah.
And so we'll just do this and go next week. So I said our Twitch is that. Our YouTube is youtube.com/OOTP Developments, where this stream will be archived. Next week. You can find us on Facebook, which is facebook.com/franchise hockey manager. You can find us on Twitter, which is twitter.com/franchise hockey. And continuing here. Is there anything else I'm missing, Jeff, as we're wrapping up?
Nothing we can talk about now. We got some interesting plans coming up for the game, but you'll have to wait and see on those.
Vancouver advanced to the conference final, just for you, I think.
See, you're clearly playing the wrong team in this game.
And Jared McCann just got injured for 4 weeks. Evander Kane got injured for 4 weeks.
Just have to rub it in.
Yep. But, all right, so at least what's going on here? San Jose, of course, is playing. San Jose is going to win the cup. Watch this happen. Chris Army says, thanks. It was good to see and get some answers. You are welcome, Chris.
Yeah,
anytime you have a question, please reach out. You can reach out on us. You can come to our website, which is ootpdevelopments.com, and find the forums where Jeff and I answer questions, and you can interact with more community members. Or join one of the many online leagues that play this game. San Jose is up 2-1. 2-2.
Oh, 8-5 game.
And Canucks, Ryan Miller just got injured. So they're doing...
they should have a decent backup by this point.
All right, well, let's take a look
that's going to matter
who their backup is.
San Jose from the number 2 wild card spot is probably going to go to the finals.
Jacob Markstrom or Thatcher Demko.
Oh, it's still Markstrom. They haven't got Demko up yet.
Well, he's there now. But
Demko, yeah, they probably...
I don't know if he'll be playing or not, so let's finish today. Both series are 3-2. What's going to really suck is if I get fired because we lost in the first round.
Nah, probably won't.
Vancouver made the final.
You're going to get a bit of, oh wow.
Vancouver versus...
I mean, they were the best
versus
team
Buffalo
in that series, but...
And Henrik Sedin's out for 3 weeks. There's nobody left.
Yeah, see, that's this. You understanding what it's like to be a Canucks fan now? This is how it goes for us. We make the finals again, and we lost probably our 2 best players.
You lost McCann. You lost your goalie. All right. All right, let's maybe do a week advance here and see if we can get this going. May 25th, so we are exactly 1 year ahead. Oh, and Buffalo wins the first game. Oh, scouting reports.
2 1970 expansion teams.
2-0 Buffalo. Buffalo's going to win the cup, sweeping them.
See, this would be absolute hell for us, me as a Canucks fan, seeing the other team that came in 70, and who doesn't have a cup by this point either, beating us in the finals because we have a bunch of injuries.
3-0.
Although I think they were way ahead in the regular season as well.
3-0.
Oh yeah, we're getting swept. This is gonna be like the Canucks and the Islanders in '82.
Well, weren't the Canucks sub 500 that year?
Yeah, we did. I didn't see a 500 season until like whatever my last year of college was, '92.
So yeah, they should be.
Lots 500 season.
Oh, Vancouver wins 1 game.
Yeah, they gave one to us. Or here comes a comeback. 4 in a row to win the series. Watch now.
All right, another email. Nolan Patrick is the third-rated guy apparently, or fourth-rated guy on the draft list.
No, we're drafting way down, so not going to be any concern of ours.
Well, unless we trade up, who knows? We don't really need any more forwards, though. Chris Army, the comeback is real. And Buffalo wins the Stanley Cup. Wow.
And the Canucks go 0-4 in the finals.
Sabres win. They beat them 6-1.
Yep.
We were, what, 47,
yep,
27, and
right.
8 this year, the Vancouver coach said. To have that kind of season and go and get to the and still go home empty-handed, it really hurts. All right. Heroic save percentage wins Michael Hutchison for highest save percentage. Dmitry Kulikov is turning to playoffs. Mike Fisher is going to free agency. Interesting. Victor Hedman will not be re-signed. Oh man, that is going to be a guy who we might have to try and get signed.
Yeah, we got the budget room for him, I think.
He would look good on the left side.
We got about 17 million to play with, I think.
Well, cap expanded, went up 10% during the offseason, right? Ovechkin wins MVP. Eichel wins playoff MVP. Jake Allen is goalie of the year. D'Angelo. Victor Sullivan. Hooray! I captured GM of the year.
That's charity for you.
Well, 56-23.
You got knocked out in the first round, but I have a consolation trophy anyhow.
Well, you know what? We tried. We tried really well. So this, just going to take a quick look here. Mark Streit is a free agency. Nashville and Arizona. Wow. Barrett Jackman is traded for Zebian McCulloch. Interesting trade. And Ryan Strome is going to free agency. That's interesting.
Yeah, a few decent guys out there we could target.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you very much for tuning in. We'll be back next week with another show. Not 100% sure if we will be doing the 1980 Jets or not. Probably, but we might change. This 2017-2018 now Winnipeg Jets season will continue as we do the draft in the offseason in 2 weeks' time, which will be, and pulling my calendar up here,
The 8th.
June 8th.